have. The third category of initiation, Shambhava. Here, Guru gives the highest illumination. How? By his mere wish. That is Sankalpa Matra. Sankalpa. He just wished it, it happened. According to the Hindu scriptures, everyone has three kinds of powers. One is Jnana Shakti, the power of knowledge. Another is Kriya Shakti, the power of action. And the third is Ichha Shakti, the power of will. The three types of initiation mentioned just now refer to the transmission of these three powers of the Guru respectively. Well, time is already up, so I have to concentrate on the Divine Master and pray for the welfare of the whole humanity. Shanti, Hri Om Tat Sat. Sapakaya Jadharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Sapakaya Jadharmasya Sarvadharma Swarupine Avadara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Yate Namah. Asato ma tadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. So we are praying to Sri Ramakrishna to remove our ignorance, to carry us onward in our spiritual journey. All this is done by the Guru, the spiritual master, who is the guide for all the spiritual aspirants. When one of the devotees asked the question, what's the way? We are constantly under stress and strain, fear, anxiety, worries, tensions, frustrations, disappointments. What is the way? And Sri Ramakrishna gives the answer straight away. The way is to follow the instructions of the Guru. Have faith in the words of Guru. If you follow what he says, surely you can get over all these problems in your life. You are sure to get peace and tranquility. By this statement, Sri Ramakrishna has focused how Guru plays a very important part in the spiritual life of an aspirant. One has to cherish definite attitude towards the Guru. Once you well establish in that attitude, you should never change for any reason. Your devotion to Guru must be very firm, not simply talking about the faith, showing by your actions. You must prove yourself a true worthy disciple of the Guru. You must become the right channel so that the Guru's grace flows through it. Then you will be able to cross this ocean of samsara. So we have discussed in last two classes about various aspects of Guru. Mainly, he has 4 functions to perform. We have discussed about the 2 functions of the Guru. The first is to instruct the aspirant about his spiritual ideal and the means of attaining it. In the spiritual life, everything should be definite. There should not be any confusion regarding ideal, regarding the path. Sri Ramakrishna has set the ideal, has set the path, has shown the way, has given practical instructions to meditate upon. The second function of the Guru is to awaken the power of spiritual intuition in the disciple. Everyone has that intuition. That's why Swami Vivekananda said in the parliament, each soul is potentially divine. Because the divinity is already there in your heart, it can be awakened. If it is not there, nothing could have been done. So the gold is there in your heart, it is to be discovered, it is to be taken out. So, the Guru awakens the spiritual intuition in the disciple. So the transmission of the spiritual impulse or power through a mantra is thus the second function of the Guru. Now, coming to the third function, one of the grave defects of a spiritual aspirant and a persistent obstacle to spiritual progress is egoism. It is too terrible to think of it, how it destroys everything about the person. Egoism is the worst enemy of a person, because egoism leads to carelessness, which in turn leads to downfall. So, obedience to the will of an illumined master is perhaps the best safeguard to the Guru, is safeguard against all these problems that the spiritual aspirants are facing in spiritual life. So, how it is very important to serve the Guru. Your spiritual discipline starts the manner in which you serve the Guru, the attitude you have towards him while serving, the devotion you develop through service. So, service rendered to the Guru brings to the light the inherent defects in the character of the disciple. The Guru notices these. He removes them, all the defects from the disciple. How? By giving a few austere treatment. Sometimes the Guru will have to be very strict in enforcing the discipline among the disciples. You must be ready to undertake discipline if you have to progress in spiritual path. The Guru has that immense power. He subdues the serpent of egoism of the disciple. So, from this context, from this point of view, you should know how it is very important to know the relationship between the Guru and the disciple. The relationship is pure, it is elevated and strong. The disciple should always remember at every moment of his life that he is under the strict guidance of the Guru. Whatever the Guru says must be clearly followed up. The disciple looks upon all the scoldings and the punishments meted out to him by his Guru as blessings and cherishes them as treasures throughout his life. The fourth function of the Guru is to connect the disciple to a spiritual tradition, what we call sampradaya, or a line of Gurus, Guru Parampara. A spiritual tradition is started by an avatar or an illumined seer whose spiritual knowledge and power are preserved through a succession of Gurus. When a person receives intuition from a Guru, the intuitive power, when it was awakened by the Guru, when he receives an initiation from the Guru, he gets a share of the knowledge and power circulating in that corporate mystical body. His own individual endeavor gets a tremendous boost from the collective goodwill and aspiration. So it is very important to know about the Guru concept. It is very sacred. The more you understand it, better for your spiritual life. In Hindu tradition, the spiritual preceptor is not merely respected as a guide or a director, but he is an object of adoration and worship as much as the deity is. Shvetashvatara Upanishad says, Yasya deve para bhaktar yatha deve tatha gurau tasyaite katita hyarthaha prakashante mahatmanaha. The spiritual truths shine forth only in those high-souled ones who have as much supreme devotion for the Guru as for God. The fundamental basis of this Guru concept is given in Mundakopanishad. Brahmaveda brahmaiva bhavati. A knower of Brahman verily becomes Brahman itself. An illumined Guru is for the disciple not only a symbol of Brahman, but is non-different from the highest reality. Apart from this, there are other considerations that form the foundation of the Guru concept. One of these is the belief that the relationship between the Guru and the disciple is an eternal one. Death may put an end to the relationship between husband and wife, between parent and child, between brother and sister, and between friends, but not to the relationship between the Guru and the disciple. Even after the Guru has left his mortal body, he continues to remain in a subtle body and guide the disciple. It is believed that once the Guru has accepted the responsibility of the disciple, he cannot get liberation until the disciple too attains it. He is very much concerned about the spiritual growth of the disciple, and he sacrifices everything for that. There is a strong belief in the vicarious suffering of the Guru for the sake of the disciple. It is believed that the sins of the disciple go to the Guru, who has to suffer for them. Sri Ramakrishna himself has said how he had to suffer from cancer because he had to take away all the sins of Girish Chandra Ghosh. On another occasion, in order to save Madhur Babu's wife, Sri Ramakrishna had to suffer for 6 months. So, the Guru suffers for the welfare of the disciple. The Kularnava Tantra, it says, Mantri doshascha rajanam jaya doshaha patim yatha tatha prapnotya sandeham shishya papam guru priye. The blemish of the minister affects the king, and the blemish of the wife, the husband. Similarly, the sins of the disciple undoubtedly affect the Guru. The Guru seeks nothing from his disciple. He accepts his spiritual responsibility and suffers for him out of compassion. As I said earlier, the Guru acts as a channel for the flow of divine grace. All people are not equally open to God. In many people, the ego and sinful tendencies of the past offer resistance to grace, which has therefore to find a channel in holy illumined souls. So, when the disciple engages himself in a dedicated service and develops his devotion to the Guru, the disciple opens his soul to the Guru. He receives divine grace by the blessings of the Guru. What would have taken years of struggle to attain that state, the disciple gets in a short time by the blessings of his Guru. The aspirant feels eternally indebted to his Guru, who saves him from sorrow, bondage, and fear forever. And suffers for his sake. So it is attitudes and beliefs of this kind, handed down from generation to generation, that form the basis of the Guru concept and have given it a sacred and incommutable status in the time-honored spiritual traditions. What is very important is that the disciple should not lose the spiritual perspective. If he loses that, his relationship with the Guru becomes an ordinary human one. In order to understand the real spiritual greatness of the Guru, the disciple must himself have some spiritual intuition, and this cannot be got without intense spiritual practice. Where there is lacking, the disciple may not get much spiritual benefit by his association with the Guru. The disciple should not neglect regular spiritual practice in the hope of getting spiritual progress by proxy. One must be very clear about this point. Without spiritual practice, you cannot move an inch in spiritual path. Coming to the significance of Guru concept, it makes transmission of spiritual truths practical. It has enabled Hinduism to maintain even the highest forms of spiritual experience in a living tradition through thousands of years. At the individual level, the Guru concept can be a great help to the beginner in spiritual life. Apart from the practical instructions that the Guru gives, his personality gives the neophyte a much needed support to his soul. To love an intangible spiritual reality, an unknown God, is really difficult for a beginner. By loving a living spiritual personality, in whom are manifested some of the attributes of the chosen ideal, the disciple progresses quickly in the path of devotion. So, by surrendering his will to the will of the Guru, by serving him and undergoing sacrifices for his sake, the disciple learns to practice true self-surrender to God. It is, moreover, easier to concentrate upon a person of flesh and blood whom one has seen, and so meditation on the Guru is a great help to concentration. On the path of knowledge, this aspirant has practically no other support than the Guru. Sri Shankaracharya, one of the great Gurus, says that the blessings of the Guru is nishkraya. There is no recompense for it. It cannot be paid back. There is no substitute for it on earth. The Prashnopanishad speaks of 6 young seekers of truth going to the hermitage of the great sage by name Pippalada. So they lived with him for a year. As per his instruction, they practiced continence and austerities. Then they approached the Guru with their questions. Pippalada answered all their questions most satisfactorily. The disciples were overwhelmed with gratitude. They worshipped the feet of their Guru and they exclaimed with deep devotion, Tvam hina pitayosmakam avidyayaha paramparam tarayasiti. You are indeed our Father who have ferried us across this ocean of ignorance to the other shore. We bow down to the great Guru. We bow down to the great Guru. So, that is how the tradition of Guru plays most important part in our spiritual life. So when Sri Ramakrishna said, have faith in the words of Guru, follow what he says. By following what the Guru says, you are practicing yoga literally. So, never neglect your spiritual practices even for a day. Be always conscious of what you are doing, what you are thinking, what you are talking. Don't give rise to terrible emotions. Don't unnecessarily engage yourself in defending what you have done, good or bad. Leave everything to God to judge. Then God will take care of them. If you try to defend yourself, then God keeps apart. Well, that fellow is defending himself, let him defend. That's the way. Surrendering means without questioning, without complaining, without raising your egoism. Try to be more humble, more and more humble, devoted and serviceable. Then you will see how you will become the recipient of Guru's grace. That Guru's grace will enable you to have the illumination, and you will get tremendous peace in life. With these words, I conclude my talk today. I shall read some passage.